and welcome. In today's video, I'll be making a pair of 1940s shorts from the smooth sailing pattern from Wearing History. I have made 5 pairs of trousers from this pattern and now 4 pairs of shorts. I highly recommend this pattern. It's super easy to put together. The instructions are really clear and I really love the end results. You have, in this packet, you have a trouser pattern with and without cuffs, and then a shorts pattern, as well as a blouse pattern. I have made the blouse only a couple times. And with the start of summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, this is a great project if you're into wearing vintage and retro clothes. So I hope you enjoy. The first step was cutting out my pieces out of this ivory cotton twill from the Aiea fabric mart. There are 2 front pieces, 2 back pieces, 2 pockets, and a waistband. My size of 30-inch waist uses up 1 yard of 60-inch fabric. Transferred the darts using a pencil and cut out a strip of interfacing for the waistband and fused it to the wrong side of the waistband. Onto the patch pockets, pattern linked below if you're interested. I marked 1/2 inch seam allowance on the wrong side of the pocket pieces and ironed it inwards. Serge the rest of my pieces to finish the raw edges. Pinning the back darts together. Sew those darts by machine, iron them towards the center back seam, and top stitch them in place. I then sewed a line of stitching on the top of the patch pockets to secure that seam allowance. The pockets were then pinned 3 inches down from the top of the back pieces. These shorts are high-waisted, so it's good to be a little lower with your pocket placement so that using the pockets isn't awkward. And top stitch around the edges of the pocket 1/8 of an inch away from the edge to secure the pocket in place. Then sew the center back seam until a mark indicated by the pattern, just below the darts. Now that the back pieces were done, I turned my attention to the front pieces. They have a tuck, which you see me pinning together here. I then sewed them by machine, ironed them towards the side seams, and top stitched them in place. I then sewed the center front seam in a similar manner to the center back seam. Here you see me pinning together the side seams and the leg seams. One of the side seams is left open about 9 inches for the zipper. I then sewed these seams by machine using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I then inserted one of the legs into the other and pinned the remainder of the crotch seam. After that was sewn, the shorts were turned right side out again. Now it was time to install the zipper. I sewed the portion of the side seam with large basting stitches, then pinned the zipper to the wrong side of the seam, matching up the zipper teeth with the center of the seam. I then sewed by machine using a zipper foot. After the zipper was sewn, I seam ripped the side seam, and voila! A zipper. My attention was then turned to the waistband. I marked the 1/2 inch seam allowance on the wrong side of the waistband and ironed it inwards. I then attached the edge of the waistband, not turned inwards, to the shorts. I then sewed that by machine. I also sewed a short end of the waistband, which was trimmed. The entire waistband was then turned right side out, aided by my pointer tool. I then ironed the seam allowance upward, trimmed it, then ironed the waistband over the seam allowance to finish it and pinned it in place. I then top stitched it in place by machine, 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. Now that the waistband was tackled, I turned my attention to the hem. I marked the 1-inch hem, ironed that hem inwards by 1/2 inch, then 1/2 inch again, and pinned it in place. The hem was then top stitched by machine 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. The final step was to add 2 hooks and 2 thread loops as closures on the waistband. As always, everything mentioned in this video and more in the reveal will be linked below. Enjoy!